Stop right there. Before you scroll, let me ask you something. Do you really believe kindness keeps you safe? Do you think honesty guarantees respect? Do you think generosity creates loyalty? If your answer is yes to any of these, then you've already swallowed the most dangerous lie society ever sold you. Because here's the brutal truth. Being good doesn't protect you. It exposes you. It makes you predictable, and predictable men get eaten alive. If you skip this video or jump ahead, you'll miss the exact patterns that are silently turning your goodness into weakness. So stay with me, because what I'm about to show you is the truth Machiavelli himself uncovered centuries ago. The truth that destroyed kings, toppled rulers, and crushed men who believed being too good would save them. Machiavelli saw it with his own eyes. He watched kind rulers fall. He saw generous leaders betrayed. He witnessed good men destroyed by the very people they helped. And he wrote it down so no one could deny it. Now I'm going to show you how the world really works, why your goodness is actually making you weak, why people don't respect your kindness, they exploit it, and most importantly, how to turn your goodness from your greatest vulnerability into your most powerful weapon. But before we dive in, let me be clear. I'm not telling you to become cruel. I'm not asking you to hurt people. I'm showing you how to stop being blind. Because in a world full of wolves, being a sheep gets you eaten. Being a shepherd, calm, strategic, and strong, makes you untouchable. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose strategic goodness. Because today everything changes. Truth number 1, goodness as exposure. Think of the kindest person you know. Now ask yourself, are they truly respected, or are they the one everyone runs to when they need something? That's the problem. Being good makes you vulnerable, not safe. When you're consistently kind, people stop respecting you. They start expecting you. They know you won't fight back. They know you won't say no. They know you'll keep giving even when it hurts you. You become the office doormat, the friend who always pays, the family member who never says no, the nice guy who everyone likes but no one respects. Let me give you a story. There was a manager I once worked with, the nicest man I ever met. He always covered for his team. He always said yes. He sacrificed his own progress to keep others happy. And when promotion time came, guess what? They skipped him. They gave the title to someone else. Why? Because nice people don't look like leaders. They look like servants. People don't respect your goodness. They exploit it. Think about it. When someone is always available to help, their help becomes worthless. When someone never sets boundaries, people keep crossing them. When someone never shows their teeth, people assume they don't have any. This is why your goodness becomes your weakness. It signals to the world that you can be used, that you can be bent, that you can be taken advantage of. Machiavelli once said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves." And yet here you are, trying to survive as a sheep in a world full of wolves. That's why you keep getting crushed. Drop this in the comments. I protect my energy. Because the first step to power is realizing blind goodness is exposure. Strategic goodness is armor. Truth number 2, the generosity trap. Now here's something that will blow your mind. The more you give to people, the less they appreciate it. Yes, you heard that right. Generosity creates short-term applause. People clap for you, they cheer for you, they say you're amazing. And it feels good, right? But over time, something darker happens. Your generosity breeds dependency, then entitlement, then resentment. Let me explain. When you help someone once, they're grateful. Twice, they're thankful. 10 times. They stop noticing. They start expecting, and when you finally stop, they don't remember the 10 times you said yes. They remember the one time you said no. Suddenly, you're the selfish one. Suddenly, you're the bad guy. Think about parents. The first time they buy their kid a gift, the child is overjoyed. By the 10th time, the gift is expected. By the 100th time, the gift is invisible. And the first time they say no, the kid explodes with anger. It's the same in friendships. You always pick up the check. You always drive everyone around. You always help them move. At first, people thank you, but soon, they stop. They just assume you'll do it, and when you ask for help back, suddenly they're too busy. That's the generosity trap. You give until giving becomes your identity, and the moment you stop, you're the villain. Psychology has a name for this: hedonic adaptation. Humans adjust to good things quickly. What was once special becomes normal. What was once generous becomes expected. So your kindness loses its power. Your sacrifices disappear in people's memory, but your refusal, that becomes unforgettable. At work, stay late 10 times, no one notices. Leave early once and you're not committed. In relationships, compromise every day, no one thanks you. Refuse once and you're difficult. That's why Machiavelli said, benefits ought to be conferred gradually, and in that way they will taste better. Scarcity creates value. Abundance destroys it. Drop this in the comments. I give strategically. Because generosity without limits doesn't build loyalty, it builds addiction. And addicts always hate their supplier when the supply runs out. Truth number 3, the mask of virtue. Now let's face another truth. People don't care if you're genuinely good. They care if you look good. Society believes in appearances, not reality. They don't judge your heart, they judge your image. That means if you want respect, you must wear the mask of goodness while keeping your power hidden underneath. Look at the most successful people you know. Do you think they made it by being genuinely nice to everyone? No, they were selective. They showed mercy when it served them. They showed strength when it was needed. The appearance of virtue is more powerful than virtue itself. Machiavelli put it perfectly. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Appear strong even if you're not. Appear controlled even when you're furious. Appear kind even when you're setting ruthless boundaries. That's not fake. That's strategic. Drop this in the comments. I control my image. Because the world doesn't reward who you are. It rewards who you appear to be. Truth number 4, the economics of power. Every single thing you do has a cost. Every favor you grant. Every yes when you want to say no. Every hour you spend fixing other people's problems instead of building your own. Most good people never think about this. They give and give until they're empty. And then they wonder why they feel drained, resentful, and invisible. Here, that's what you must understand. Your time is limited. Your energy is limited. Your resources are limited. When you spend them carelessly, you weaken yourself. When you weaken yourself, you lose influence. And when you lose influence, you cannot protect yourself or anyone else. Think about airplane safety instructions. They always tell you to put your own oxygen mask on first. Why? Because if you pass out trying to help someone else, now 2 people need rescuing instead of 1. Life works the same way. If you exhaust yourself constantly serving others, you stop being an asset. You become another liability. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I said yes to everyone, every favor, every quick question that turned into hours, every responsibility that wasn't mine. I thought I was being good, but what really happened? I destroyed my own progress. My dreams got delayed. I felt bitter toward the very people I wanted to help. That's when I realized saying yes to everyone means saying no to yourself. And when you abandon yourself, you eventually abandon everyone else too. The most generous people in history weren't the ones who said yes to everything. They were the ones who said no most of the time, so they could say yes powerfully when it mattered. Machiavelli once wrote, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." You cannot command others if you cannot command your own energy. You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself. Drop this in the comments. I protect my resources. Because if you don't guard your energy, someone else will spend it for you. Truth number 5, the strategic use of virtue. Listen carefully. I'm not telling you to throw away mercy, honesty, or generosity. I'm telling you to weaponize them. A sword sitting on a shelf protects no one, but a sword in the hands of a skilled warrior, used at the right moment, can save a kingdom. Your goodness should be the same. Mercy shown at the right time becomes unforgettable. Generosity given to the right person creates loyalty. Honesty spoken in the right place changes lives. But goodness thrown everywhere, that just makes you look weak. Instead of helping everyone a little, help the right people a lot. Instead of being kind to everyone, be exceptionally kind to the ones who matter. Instead of saying yes to everything, say yes with full force to the things that align with your mission. This approach does 3 things. First, it makes your kindness more valuable because it's rare. Second, it creates real impact instead of surface-level comfort. Third, it earns you respect because you are selective, not desperate. Think of the leaders who shaped history. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't gentle with injustice. He confronted it powerfully. Mother Teresa didn't help everyone in the world. She focused intensely on the poorest of the poor. They were all good people, but they were strategically good. Machiavelli understood this when he wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." What does this mean? It means goodness must serve the moment. Sometimes helping one person means denying another. Sometimes protecting your dream means disappointing people who want your time. That is not selfish. That is effective. Before you say yes to anything, ask yourself 3 questions. Does this align with my values and goals? Can I do this without draining myself? Will this person truly respect what I'm giving? If the answer is no, then your answer must also be no. Firmly, calmly, without guilt. When you finally do say yes, give it everything. That's how your yes becomes unforgettable. Drop this in the comments. I choose effective kindness, because kindness without boundaries is weakness, but kindness with precision is power. Truth number 6, the illusion of gratitude. Now here's a truth that will sting. Gratitude doesn't last. The sacrifices you make for people, the favors you grant, the help you give, they all have an expiration date. Do something once, they praise you. Do it twice, they thank you. Do it 10 times, they stop noticing. And when you finally say no, that's the only thing they remember. You help your neighbor move once. They're grateful. You help again 6 months later. They're thankful but less excited. By the 3rd time, it's just expected. By the 4th time, they don't even ask. They just assume you'll do it. And if you refuse, now suddenly you're selfish. This is human psychology. It's called adaptation. People adjust to good treatment until it becomes invisible. The more consistently kind you are, the less your kindness is valued. The more available you make yourself, the less special your presence becomes. The more you give without asking, the more people assume your giving has no cost. And here's the kicker. The ones you help the most often are usually the ones who will take you most for granted. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel." People don't remember the weight of what you've done. They only see what you're doing now. Your past kindness disappears. Your present refusal screams. This doesn't mean people are evil. It means people are human. And humans always normalize what they receive. That's why gratitude is temporary. That's why you must set boundaries. That's why sometimes the most powerful way to make your goodness felt is to withhold it. Drop this in the comments. I create lasting impact. Because goodness that's given endlessly loses its power. But goodness that's measured and rare becomes unforgettable. Truth number 7, results over intentions. Here's the reality no one wants to face. The world doesn't care about your intentions. It only cares about your results. You might have the purest heart in the world. Your motives might be clean. Your reasons might be noble. But if your actions don't create outcomes, none of it matters. History doesn't remember people who meant well. History remembers people who made an impact. A teacher who gives tough grades isn't being cruel. They're preparing students for the real world. A parent who disciplines their child isn't being mean. They're teaching survival. A boss who sets high standards isn't unreasonable. They're building strength. See the pattern. Real goodness is about outcomes, not appearances. Nice people want to be liked. Good people want to be effective. Nice people maintain comfort. Good people create change. Nice people say what others want to hear. Good people say what others need to hear. That's why Machiavelli wrote, "The end justifies the means." Most people twist this to mean do evil for gain. That's not the point. The point is this: good intentions are worthless if they don't deliver good results. People don't live inside your heart. They live with the consequences of your actions. Drop this in the comments. I focus on outcomes. Because being remembered as nice is the same as being forgotten. But being remembered as effective is being remembered forever. Truth number 8, legacy and survival. Now let's talk about the final piece, legacy. Ask yourself, can you name 5 nice people from history? Probably not. But you can name 5 people who created change even if they weren't always pleasant to deal with. That's the brutal truth. The world doesn't honor the agreeable. It honors the impactful. Steve Jobs wasn't remembered for being kind. He was remembered for reshaping the world of technology. Machiavelli himself wasn't loved. He was feared, studied, quoted, and remembered centuries later. Here's the lesson. Being remembered for making a difference is better than being forgotten for being agreeable. But here's the catch. You can't leave a mark if you don't survive. The kindest people in the world can't help anyone if they're crushed by those who exploit them. The most generous people can't give anything if they give everything too soon. The most honest people can't speak truth if they're silenced by the powerful. Survival comes first. Then impact, then legacy. That means guarding yourself so you can protect others, building yourself up so you can lift others, becoming strong enough to choose goodness when it matters most. Machiavelli said it best, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." He didn't mean cruelty. He meant respect. Respect lasts longer than affection. Impact lasts longer than popularity. Results last longer than feelings. You don't have to choose between being good and being strong. You can be both, but if you must choose, choose strength, because strength gives you the power to be good when it truly counts. Drop this in the comments. I build legacy through strength. The final choice. We've covered everything. Why blind goodness exposes you. Why generosity without limits becomes a trap. Why appearances matter more than reality. Why energy must be guarded. Why virtue must be used strategically. Why gratitude fades. Why results matter more than intentions. And why legacy requires survival. Now it's time for the decision. Will you keep being good in the old way, blind, endless, and exploitable? Or will you be good in the new way, strategic, powerful, unforgettable? Goodness without strategy is weakness. Goodness with strategy is power. So ask yourself, will you let goodness weaken you, or will you master it and turn it into strength? Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I master strategic goodness. Because in a world full of wolves, you were never meant to be a sheep. You were meant to be the shepherd. Not through cruelty, but through wisdom. Not through weakness, but through strength. Not through blind sacrifice, but through calculated impact. That is how you protect yourself. That is how you protect others. That is how you create a legacy that will outlive you. Thank you for staying until the end. That already makes you rare. Most people quit when the truth gets uncomfortable, but you didn't. And for that, respect. If this video opened your eyes, like it. If you want more truths that challenge how you see the world, subscribe and ring the bell. And if you know someone still trapped by blind goodness, share this with them. Because the world doesn't need more people who are just nice. The world needs people who are powerful enough to be good when it truly matters. And now you know exactly how to become one of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.